Hello and welcome back, Patriot Contraptions here, and today we're talking about my John Deere 214 motor swap to a 10 horsepower motor because my 14 horsepower motor went and blew a rod, so there's no way for me to fix that right now, and it was cheaper to go and buy a John Deere 210, which you can see right here, take the motor out of that and put it into the 214. So let me explain exactly what I did in a little bit of detail here, and hopefully give you guys guidance if you're considering doing either a swap from a 214, 212 to a 210 or vice versa, etc. So this is a pretty straightforward swap as far as the electrical on the tractors, and it is really cold out here, so I'm trying to talk fast. But the electrical wiring is basically plug and play. The key is you have to remember to ground the motor out when you swap it over from the negative lead directly to the motor. If you don't do that, your starter will not work. As far as the plugs on the 214 motor versus the 210 motor, there's one plug on the left-hand side of the tractor when you're sitting on it, and that unplugs and you're able to plug it right into the motor from the 210. So no issues there with the electrical swap over, really simple. As far as actually the mounting brackets, you guys can see down here, the way I did this was in order to swap the motors, you actually have to swap the entire motor bracket. So you see here, 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 and here, there are these bushings on the frame. And what those bushings do is on the 210, they hold this entire cradle that comes down under the motor and then back up on the other side. You're going to need to take that cradle off if you plan to put that motor on the 214 and move that entire setup onto the tractor. Because the 214 only, instead of having one bracket, has two. It has a bracket on each side. It has one that comes down like this and bolts to the motor, and has another one on this side that comes down and bolts to the motor. Big plus is it drops right in, so you've got no problem there as far as the frame sizing or having to re-drill holes. It's all bolt right on. Overall, the one thing I did have problems with was swapping over the PTO. That's your power transfer. So that's located on the side of the motor. And because my John Deere 214 has an electric PTO, hopefully you guys can see it right here, and the 210 has a manual PTO, that became a problem because the 214 motor does not have mounts for an electric PT, or the 210 motor does not have the mounts on it for the electric PTO. So it does fit on there. It does seem to work in my initial testing here. But because I'm selling the tractor, I'm just going to let the next owner, he's well aware of it, do the work to figure that out. However, it does seem to just bolt on, you're able to slide it on there, and then it kind of stops against the actual motor casting instead of having the mounts. But it seems to work. I think it won't be too bad to get it running fine with this. If I do for some reason end up keeping it and the offer sells out, then I'll be working on that. So you'll see that on the channel as well. But on the manual, if you can see here, there's a lever on the steering column right there that the electric PTO simply doesn't have. So you'd have to modify. You'd probably take that whole dash and swap it over. But there you have it. Those are the things just to keep in mind if you're ever plan to swap a 10 horsepower 210 motor over to a 214 or vice versa. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Happy New Year. This is my first video of 2022. I will have another video coming out shortly of my top videos of all time because I recently realized I hit 200 videos on YouTube, which is insane. So there you have it. Be sure to subscribe. Patriot Contraptions signing out. Hoping you have a fantastic day.